Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video here on my Big Bro channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Tim Black, and for the next few minutes, I'm going to do my absolute best to be the big bro you come to for advice about anything in life, and it's honest advice. So, if that sounds good to you, you haven't joined the family yet, subscribe down below, and let's get started with today's video as we talk about making peace with our bodies. Now, you could label it as body positivity. We could put that in that category, but really, what today's going to be about is more of my overall experience and my learning of all things related to my body throughout my journey. And for those of you that are new here, this channel actually started as a fitness channel way back when I was in the process of losing 100 pounds. So over the span of a few years, I used my weight loss as a way to get out of a dark place in my life. I'm talking really dark. It was tough, but I'm glad I did it. I look back on it. I don't regret doing it at all. But as I sit here and I look at everything, I think about my experience, I've come to realize that there's a dark side to my weight loss, and there's this constant inner critic that I have focused on my body. Now, following my breakup, drug use, and failing out of college, I decided, you know what, becoming skinny is going to solve all my problems. And the honest truth is that it did help quite a bit, but not in the way that you're probably thinking. I cannot 100% say, I can't sit here and tell you with all the confidence in the world that I was happy or I became happy solely because I became skinny. But what I can say is I became happy because I developed healthy habits like mindfulness and meditation. I can also say that I became happy because I developed hobbies like going to the gym that made me work out. And they kept me distracted from my drug use. They kept me distracted from my partying, and in turn I became happy. I can also say that I became happy because I didn't just lose weight, I accomplished something that I set my mind to. The thing is, I was never actually happy with my body, and it's crazy because my friends and my family and pretty much everyone in my life would congratulate me and they'd tell me how proud they were, and they would tell me things like my body was their dream body. It was the body that most people would aspire to have. But for me, no matter what, every time I looked in the mirror and I saw myself, I saw the same body. To me, my 160-pound body was the exact same as my 260-pound body. And I don't mean this quite literally. Like, I saw the progress that I made. I saw my abs, I saw my biceps and triceps, but I also saw little bits and pieces of fat that I still wanted to lose. I saw my stretch marks that were 6 inches deep, just 6 inches across my waistband, all the way across my torso. And I saw this scar across my abs that I thought would go away when I lost weight, but it was still there. And most importantly, I guess I just didn't like what I saw. No matter what happened, I still was not happy with what I was looking at in the mirror. So I think to myself, how in the world did I put in so much effort these past 3 to 4 years just to be this unsatisfied with my body still? You know, I missed out on so many nights out with my friends because I couldn't order anything from the restaurant that they were at. It didn't fit my macros, so I missed out on good food, on good drinks. I missed out on a lot of stuff. I missed out on enjoying things like Dr. Pepper and pizza because I convinced myself that I had to cut these things out permanently and only eat chicken and rice in order to reach my dream body. But I don't know, I did so much. And even in school, like every free second I had outside of school and work, like I spent every second at the gym or sitting here watching videos or doing research online about what new diets and techniques I can find to finally reach my perfection. And as I got closer and closer to my perfect body, I realized that my idea of perfection changed throughout my whole process, and that I was actually becoming further and further from my dream body than I had been at the start. And my strength was increasing, my progress was moving, but so are my standards. You know, after some time of reflection and really deep thought and just conversations with myself, I realized that something was off. How had I just worked this hard and come so far to be just as far? And the problem was I was looking at myself through broken eyes. And you're probably thinking, that's kind of strange. What do you mean? But think of it this way. When you throw on a pair of sunglasses and you step outside and you look around, everything looks darker because the dark lenses filter the things that you see. So everything you look at is going to have that filter where it looks a bit darker. Now, my eyes were doing the exact same thing, except when I would use my eyes to look at myself, the filter would show myself as big, sad, and confused. And it doesn't matter. I could have worked my way all the way down to 140 pounds, but I still would have looked at myself with these eyes and said, I could lose more fat there. I can tighten my skin there. Maybe add a little bit more muscle there. And it became so time consuming and just overwhelming with how upset I was with my body, regardless of what I did. And in order for me to change how I saw myself, I had to change the way I looked at myself and strip my eyes of these filters. And you're probably thinking, okay, Tim, I kind of get what you're saying, but are you saying we shouldn't aspire to be thin? Should we not aspire to be in shape? We shouldn't work out? Of course I'm not. I'm not here to tell you to do anything with your body. If you want to lose weight, do it. If you don't want to lose weight, don't do it. my goal isn't to tell you what to do with your body. It's your body, you do whatever you want with it. What I'm trying to say is that you should appreciate or learn to appreciate your body through self-love and self-caring. Make peace with the results that you've made, or better yet, make peace with the results that you want to see in your future. When we look at ourselves with this negative filter, we think and we say things that are only going to hurt us more. Like, why am I so fat? Do I really think I can walk around in public like this? I mean, I've walked home and sometimes I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, man, I look like that the entire dinner. No one told me, but there was nothing wrong with me. It was just my eyes, this stupid filter of my eyes telling me that something was off. But talking to ourselves like this doesn't help anything. You know, if anything, it's just going to lead to a deeper feeling of failure, and it's going to decrease our appreciation for who we really are. I mean, ask yourself, would you talk to a stranger like this? Would you talk to your mother like this? Would you talk to a friend like this? If not, then why would you talk to yourself like this? You know, I think there's this misconception about body positivity and the movement as a whole, where these angry people just hijacked and they look at it now as this is just a way to make fat people feel better about themselves, when it's so annoying. Let me just talk about this real quick. I mean, I am so tired of everywhere I look, there's always some random guy that chimes in about somebody else's body, telling them they should diet or they should do a specific workout or they're gonna die soon if they don't fix their habits. You know, just shut up, dude. Just shut up. You know, for me, like, I'm the person. You know, I've eaten healthy. I've worked out, but yet I still feel ashamed of how I look sometimes. So why isn't someone screaming at me? You know, I am looking for body positivity. I want to have a better body image, but nobody's screaming at me. So that's not what I'm trying to get at in this video, but I needed to point that out because I can, but there are no set of rules or regulations about body positivity. There's nothing in the rule book that says you have to weigh this much or you have to have this specific body type. You know, body positivity is meant for people of all sizes, shapes, colors, abilities, you know, sexual orientations, gender identities, and ages. It's for everybody. And body positivity in itself is a great movement that was created to shift society's view from shaming people for their bodies and their weight biases. However, for us and for the topic of this video, it starts at a much smaller level. It starts with you and it starts with your own body image. Now, body image is our own perception of our bodies. It's how we feel about our bodies, how we feel about our appearance, and even how we sense the way we control and move our bodies. Now, this doesn't have to be associated with our weight. I mean, people can feel less attractive or have negative body image just from their hair or their skin or even one specific body part like their fingers or their nose. And it should be obvious why it's so easy to have a negative body image, because how can we not, dude? Like, literally pick up your cell phone and go on Instagram and look at all the people that we see. Like, even for me, like, for somebody that has been working out, like, I go onto the Instagram, I look at social media, I look at the media in general, and there's dudes with abs and there's these girls that are just completely chiseled. Everyone looks so good. And I think to myself, dude, I put in this much work and I still don't look like that. Like, how am I supposed to have a positive body image? And I'm sure you think the same thing. But it's so easy for us to compare ourselves to others who are perceived to be the perfect human. In turn, this leads to a lack of confidence on our end, you know, a feeling of embarrassment and overall just hatred for yourself and your body. So we know what body image is. We know that we're not happy with our bodies, but what are we supposed to do about it? Now, how do we remove that filter from our eyes and finally be happy with ourselves? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a few of the things that I've learned and the stuff that worked for me in my whole body journey. That's just stuff that I saw success in. So I want you to keep in mind before we start that it does take a pretty big mental shift in the way you think, and it's going to require some time. It's going to require some patience and just some practice with some of these tactics. So keep that in mind. Also understand that a lot of the things that we do works differently for us. So something that works for me may not work for you or may work better for you. But with that being said, here is what I did to make the shift from a negative to a positive body image for myself. The first thing being, I had to ditch the narrative that any specific body type was going to make me be happy. It turns out the body that I saw as perfect was my idea of what I thought would look perfect to others, not myself. I convinced myself that a certain look would provide me with more happiness. You know, I could pick up more women, I'd make more money, I would just gain respect all around from more people because I had that specific body. What I had to do was I had to finally sit down with myself and have that conversation and realize that my physical appearance in itself is not what would bring me happiness. It was my habits, it was my thoughts, it was other things that I would do that would bring me happiness. You know, if those habits and those thoughts led to my weight loss, then that's great. Then I could say that I was at least doing it for myself. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I wasn't happy because I became skinny. I wasn't happy because I lost weight. I was happy because of the habits and the thoughts that I developed during my journey and during my process. So Ditch that whole narrative. Not one specific body type is going to make you happy. I know you think that, but the moment you get down to a six-pack or you lose 20 pounds, 40 pounds, you just want more. It becomes tougher and tougher. So ditch that narrative. Work more for goals, more performance goals rather than aesthetic goals. If you have to, tell yourself, oh, I want to bench this much instead of weigh this much. I don't want to look like this. I just want to feel better, you know? The next thing I did was I had to stop judging other people's bodies, you know? I wish I could say I was perfect. I wish I could say this was never a problem for me, but in all honesty, I was so disgusted with myself and my body pretty much throughout the whole phase that I would put other people down to make myself feel better, you know? I would think to myself at the gym, at least I look better than that guy, or in public, I would think, wow, I really should be happy with the way I look, because that's just sad. Like, how do you let yourself go out in public like that? And a lot of the times, our prejudices and our negative thoughts about others are really a direct reflection of what we think about ourselves. And when I think about this now, like now that I've gotten to where I am, it's just disgusting to think that I ever thought that way. And I hate the fact that I did, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, because I did, because it made me feel better. But what happens when you do this, what happens when you judge somebody else's body, is you send the message not just to them, but to yourself, that physical appearance is a valid measure of a person's value. And I want to tell you right now, before we move on to anything else, it is not. You are more than just the way you appear. Not only are you feeding into the societal view of a person's body by doing this, you're just being a complete ass. So don't do that. I feel 10 times better when I don't do that. Now I just look at people and I think of nice things to say to them. I think of compliments. And when I see somebody else working hard and trying to do their best, it makes me so happy to see that. So ditch that. Get rid of that whole thing altogether. Be nice to people. Another thing I had to do was I had to start looking at myself as a whole person, you know? When I looked at myself in the past, when I looked at myself with these negative filters I talk about, I would focus on my flaws, you know, the things that I didn't like. While other people would look at me as more than just my physical appearance, they would see me as who I was. They would actually see me and know me for who I am, especially friends and family. So people see other people as whole people. That sounds crazy, but as a whole person, you are more than just your appearance. What I'm trying to say is, you're not your stretch marks. You're not your pointed nose. You're not the fingers and their toes that you don't like, because beauty and confidence is much more than skin deep. It's a state of mind. It's not the state of your body. So look at yourself for more than just your physical appearance. Look at yourself for who you are on the inside. You're a nice person. You do good things for others. You are not just the person that happens to have some sort of flaw because social media said you do. Now, if you haven't done this yet, this next one is one of the quickest and simplest ways to start creating a better body image for yourself, but it's making a list about the things that you actually like about yourself. You know, for me, let's say I don't like the scar I have across my stomach. But you know, I get a lot of compliments about my eyebrows. I think they're nice. They're kind of bushy. They're kind of unique. I like it. I think they complement my face well. I also have a receding hairline. I'm 24 years old and my hairline is further than the freaking ocean during a tsunami. But you know, I also have a really good smile. I love my smile. I think it complements my face and it makes me feel really friendly when I see other people. And you know, maybe next time when I look at my hair, I'll think to myself, it's okay, I got a smile. People are going to focus on that instead of my hair. It sounds silly, but just creating this list of things that you like about yourself or things that you love about yourself, it helps, you know, read it, add to it every chance you get, because as your list grows, you're going to quickly see that there's a lot more that you like about yourself than there is that your inner critic hates about yourself. It's not willing to admit it, but there's a lot about yourself that you like, so sit down, make a list, add to it. Lastly, and this is going to be the challenge part of my video, what I'm going to challenge you to do is exactly what I did in this situation, but I want you to look at yourself in the mirror with your heart instead of your eyes. Now, at first glance for me, when I look in the mirror and I look with my eyes, I think things like, oh, my face is kind of big, or my thighs are touching, or my abs don't show as much as I would like them to, or, you know, my eyes are too far apart and I've got a big nose and my forehead's massive. But you step away from the mirror real quick and you think to yourself, wow, like, how cruel is that? Like, why would I say that to myself? You know, it makes you feel really bad. So then you turn around again, you go back to the mirror, and this time when you look in the mirror, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at yourself with your heart. Try it again. Look at yourself. And for me, when I do this, I think things that are a lot more positive. I see myself as a person and for who I really am. And I look at myself, and what I see is I see a person who is doing their absolute best. I see a 24-year-old who has overcome drug addictions. They finished school. I see someone who logs in twice a week to make these videos in order to try to better the lives of other people. What I see when I look in the mirror that second time around is I see a person staring back at me, and you know what? I am proud of that person. So what I want you to do is I want to challenge you to do the exact same thing. start to look at yourself in a new way. Start to see yourself for who you are and who you really are, and not what your inner critic wants to see you as. But with that, I'm gonna wrap it up before this gets too long. That's all I got for today's video. I hope there's at least one thing that you can take from this, whether it be any of these strategies or just a better feeling about yourself, feeling a little more confident in the way you are, understanding that we all go through this. That's good enough for me. You know, I strongly encourage you to at least try to implement one of these things in your life, and see yourself as a person who is trying everything they can and trying their absolute best. But for now, that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. I love each and every single one of you. I don't know. I can't believe that people watch me. This is incredible. But I will see you all in the next video.